You're tuning into FM Cypher podcast, a daytime ride along with artists, poets, writers, actors, business owners, etc. Real conversations, real moment. I'm your boy, Free-Minded the Cypher. Let's ride. Yeah.
Okay, they not stop playing with them. Okay, the Haitian flag represents. Stop playing with them. Okay.
Allô, bonsoir. What's up? Allô, bonsoir. What's up?
Stop.
Allô, bonsoir.
With them.
What's up? Allô, bonsoir. What's up? Comme un nouillet, 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 comme un nouillet.
Yeah. We back at it again with another one with Free-Minded the Cypher.
Abu Taif, the president of AIPC.
Yes, sir. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Abu. Where are you from?
I am from Bangladesh. Right. Very tiny little country, other side of the world.
How far is it from here?
How far is it from here? So if I was to...
I said drive. Yeah, flying.
So if I was to go to my village, right, it could take about 2.5 days. Flight time, like getting the best flight, catching the best flight out of Miami.
You say 2.5 days?
Yeah.
Flight?
No. So catching the, well, sort of. So catching the best flight out of Miami, it'll probably be 22 hours, right? And then the thing is, after you land in Bangladesh, then to get to my village is a whole nother trip.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So that's a whole nother, and there is a plane that'll go from like the capital to the city, but usually we don't take that flight. We'll drive. Yeah. And I love to drive anyways because you just land in Bangladesh, and then you get to see Bangladesh, right? Which is so different. I mean, you got the agriculture is different, the buildings are different, the architecture, the people, everything is different, right? The smell. So it's but yeah, so we usually drive to the area, and it takes about 2.5 days.
That's a journey.
It's a journey. It's one of the journeys that I absolutely love taking. Like I can't wait to take my next one. But I love it, man.
When was the last time you've been there?
Last time I went there was about 3.5 years ago, maybe. I actually went there to get my mom. Okay. Because I wanted her to live with us over here. So I went over there. It was me and my brother. We went there to bring her. Stayed there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay. So she's living with you now?
So she's not actually. So I brought her here because I wanted her to live with us, but she's not acclimated to America and its technology and stuff like that. And plus, where she's from, she can step out of her house and everyone that she sees, she knows, and everyone knows her. And over here, you barely know your neighbor's name. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a little bit different. Plus, technology and stuff like that is a little bit different from over there to here. Yeah. As a matter of fact, she had a hard time figuring out how the bathrooms work and stuff like that, like the toilets and stuff. Yeah. It's literally just like that. Yeah. Growing up, and Bangladesh is not like that anyway. And I'm not trying to paint it in like some third world country category, which absolutely it is a third world country. But me personally, my experience growing up, I came here when I was 7. So before that, when I used the bathroom, it was basically a hole, right? You go take a shit in the hole.
Yeah, it's not even Haiti.
That's the bathroom. And I'm not saying that categorizes what Bangladesh is like, but I'm talking about 25 years ago when I was in Bangladesh in the village. That's how it was. Yeah.
I can relate.
And you know what? There's a certain beauty about that, honestly. To be honest, there's a certain beauty about that. Like I'm one of those people. I'll drive through downtown, and I'll look at the buildings and stuff. I'll be like, damn, man, like look at all these buildings and shit. And over here, at some point, there used to be trees. So because I like nature, I like things like that. Tennessee is probably one of my favorite places I've been to, and just because it's still, it's still trees, it's still dirt roads and things like that. It's still more natural, I guess. I guess that's the case. Natural. I guess that's the overall thing. Is I like things that are natural.
Yeah. It's like a different feeling when you go back home. It's like
definitely a different feeling, bro. Definitely a different feeling. It's a feeling that I do enjoy very much. But this is home, though, right? Like, because my kids are growing here. I've been here pretty much all my life, so this is definitely home. but where you're from is always going to be where you're from, right?
Yeah.
And that nothing can ever replace that.
Yeah.
So there's always that attachment to the ground.
You said you came here when you were 7?
7 years old, yeah.
Or with who?
So my dad came with my dad and a family, I guess. My dad was already here before, and then he brought the rest of us. My mom was in Bangladesh. I have another mom that I came with, and my older brother, and my sister was just born at the time when we came here, and I have another sister that was born here afterwards. So basically 4 of us.
Okay. So you guys are used to bump heads and stuff?
I mean, there's always that siblings thing, you know?
Yeah.
There's always that siblings thing, and the first opportunity I get to speak to the world, I don't want to air out their stuff, but no, but they're good siblings, man. They're all good siblings.
Like for us, we was in a house where there was a bunch of people, so there was bumping heads, but you know, we got along. Everybody had roles to play and you know, responsibility to take care of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's that friction anyways. It's that friction because once you overcome something, that's when you have more value for it, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're bumping heads with your family or your siblings and things like that, the important thing is to kind of to get over it. At least I feel like is to get over it, because that's a relationship that you can't duplicate, right? Ever, right? Yeah. And that's not to say that no matter what you have to hold on to that relationship, but I think no matter what you should try to make it a good relationship.
Yeah.
No matter what, you should try to make it a good relationship, and vice versa, right? So, but there's limits to everything in life. I do believe that as well, right? Aside from God, there's limits to everything in life. So I do believe that firmly.
So would you say, how would you describe going from how you pronounce it?
Bangladesh.
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 Desh.
Bangladesh. Bangladesh.
Desh. Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, you got it.
Bangladesh.
So the language that we speak is called Bangla, right? And Desh in Bangla literally means country. So it's kind of like the land where they speak Bangla, right? So Bangladesh. Desh. Yeah.
Okay.
Bangladesh. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it. Bangladesh.
Okay. I bet people gonna be like, what the heck?
And you know what?
You ever seen the Rush Hour?
Yes, I have seen.
What's it called when they showing the back behind the scenes and stuff like that? Or it was like Chris Tucker trying to pronounce this one dish. You know?
I might have seen it. It's been a while. I know. I might have seen it, but I know I like that movie. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, right?
Yeah. He spent minutes trying to pronounce that.
Man, I don't think I've ever watched anything with Jackie Chan that I didn't like.
Yeah.
You ever watch that cartoon show when you were little?
Oh yeah, oh man, you bring back
Jackie
memories
Chan
right now.
Adventures, I think it was called, was it, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
What's that thing though? The grandpa beating.
Yeah.
Oh yo.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there's something to learn from everything, right?
Yeah.
There's something to learn from everyone. Something that I learned that was very important from that show actually was this idea, and I don't remember specifically exactly as it was, but I do remember the general idea.
Yeah.
And the idea of it was that there were some bad guys that were trying to steal one of the jades, I think, right? That they used to collect jades or something like that, right? Stone.
Something like that. Yeah.
So there were some bad guys that were trying to steal it, and the job of Jackie Chan and the granddaughter or the daughter was to make sure that the bad guys don't steal the jade. Yeah. Right? So at some point Jackie Chan just threw the jade and just broke it on the ground. And the grandma's like, "What? Why would you do that?" And so, you know? Yeah. And he's like, "Our mission is just to make sure they don't get it."
Too. You sound like him when you did that too a little bit.
Yeah. So his like, well, our mission is to make sure they don't get it. Yeah. Right? So mission accomplished. They didn't get it. Yeah. That was pretty strong for me. I thought that was like a moment of, you know, there's a lot of wisdom in that, I feel like, you know?
There's a lot of wisdom to a lot of things if you really you know, open your eyes and really pay attention, you know? Exactly. Like, that's for me. I like anime too. So
I love anime. What's your favorite anime?
I think I would say One Piece.
Okay.
I love One Piece.
I haven't watched it, but just about everyone that doesn't say Naruto says One Piece. My favorite
I love
Naruto.
Naruto too.
That's my favorite. Naruto.
Yeah, I like it a lot, but you know, it's so hard for me to say my favorite. You know.
Yeah.
I have like probably a good amount where it's like.
Okay.
But I love One Piece. You learn from them. You know, you learn. That's like the same thing where the compassion to humanity and things like that. I'll say AIPC. Like you typically, if you a type of person to really grow up to things like that, you look at the world a little bit different.
For sure.
So,
and that's one of the things, right? Is your perception of the world is based off your experiences, right? But oftentimes, especially if you're a child, then your experiences are going to be based off your household.
Yeah.
Right? And not every household is the best experience. And so reigniting compassion back into the hearts of humanity, it means understanding that people come from different experiences, and you can't necessarily hold everyone to the same standard that you hold everyone else if you truly want to have compassion. And the reason is because I am who I am because of my experiences, right? So naturally someone else who had different experiences is going to be a different outcome, right? But ultimately, what is the right thing to do, right? That's the question. What is the right thing to do?
Yeah.
It's very easy to distance yourself from others or put somebody else down or X, Y, and Z because of whatever reason, you know what I mean? And it's very hard to take a step back and say, man, the world hasn't quite been fair to everyone in the same way. And life is not fair is something that we hear often. Or we can say life is very fair, right? Because I can argue both sides of that, right?
Yeah.
But as far as AIPC is concerned, I don't know. What do you think? Is life fair or not fair? I know this. I don't know if I can.
I want
ask
to say
you.
life is fair and not fair. I just feel like we cause stuff on each other to make life feel difficult, you know. And so sometimes it's how you see the world too. But the world could definitely be better. Like for me, I used to have a lot of anger towards the world growing up, because you know the way I see people move and things like that. There's not enough compassion, like you said.
Right, right. And so what I recently started doing is when someone like does something that I'm not happy with, I'm not perfect, and I'll never be perfect, and I still get mad, and I'm still irrational, and I'm still illogical, and all those kind of things, right? I try to be the best that I can, but I'm still all of those things. But when someone really upsets me these days, now when I think about it, I kind of divide up the blame that I'm angry at. The person that I'm angry at, that anger I kind of divided up now. Before it was just at that person. Now a little bit of that I take to the world, because it's like, man, that's just unfair that the world is in a way where they have to, the world is such a place where they have to behave that way, and that's just, you know, so it's not just that person's fault anymore, because you know what I mean? So I kind of and doing that helps me forgive people a little bit better now, because now it's not just them that is doing that to me, it's the combination of the world that has put them in a situation where maybe they acted or behaved in a way that I wasn't happy with. And ultimately, I could still be, just because I'm not happy with it doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm right. Right? I could still be wrong, right? But so you got to give that a little bit as well, right? But
cause and effect.
Right.
The way I look at stuff like that, and even with me, I like picking people's brains and see, you know, how you went from here to here. You know, you ever play those butterfly? It's called butterfly effect games or something like that.
No.
It's like you're making decision within the game.
Okay.
So like, and it's telling a story.
Okay.
So let's just say there's a woman, she's driving, and let's say they give you two choices, either turn left or turn right. Okay. You know, and based on what you pick, that's going to determine how the story go through.
That's life, right? Yeah. Cause and effect, right?
Yeah, that's the same thing. So.
Every decision, everything is cause and effect, really. Yep. Like, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't really believe in luck. I think everything that happens in the world is intentional. Yeah. And when I say it's intentional, I mean it's because of a cause, right? Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Now, probability, does that exist? Of course, probability exists. And I think we just think of probability as luck, right? Because there was such a low probability of something happening, we feel like we got lucky. But in reality, there was a probability of it happening, and it just so happened to you. Yeah. And it had to happen to somebody, so you just happened to be it.
Yeah, right place at the right time.
Sure.
Or wrong place at the wrong time.
Sure. Yeah, either one. Yeah.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
So, it's like flipping the coin.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you're doing. So can you tell me a little bit about AIPC? Like, matter of fact, before we get there, let's tell me how was it like growing up? I think I was trying to get into that.
Sure.
We kind of sidetrack a little bit.
Sure. Growing up where?
Coming from where you're from to here, like, can you say what's the difference between as a child or?
Well, so I got pretty lucky in the sense that I had a lot of friends growing up. Like I didn't have any family outside of my immediate family, right? I didn't have any cousins and blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z, none of that, right? But I did get lucky in the sense that in the neighborhood that I used to live in, it was a small neighborhood, and there was probably like 10 kids in the neighborhood. Some of them are quite a bit older, and some of them are, you know, I was the littlest one. And these kids, we used to play so much sports. Like we used to always play sports, and I had so much fun. So my entire life was literally growing up as a kid. Is just playing sports and then going home at night. You know what I mean? And then if I go home tue late, then I'd just go to sleep early before my dad came home because you know, why'd you get home after dark? You know? Yeah. I didn't really get hit or anything, to be honest. I just didn't. But yeah, just playing sports and growing up. And aside from that, I mean, going up. One thing I can say that is so my name is Abu, right? And coming from Bangladesh, I didn't know there was a monkey named Abu in the movie Aladdin. And so a lot of kids knew that.
I don't remember his name, but I guess.
Yeah, that monkey's name is Aladdin. And so naturally there's a lot of jokes and stuff, right? With Abu and blah, blah, blah. And one thing about me, I guess it's been like that since I was young, since I was little. I guess I've always had this thing where I won't tolerate disrespect, like at all. And so I remember I used to get into a lot of fights, right? Because people that don't know me, they just see me and they think I'm somebody that is, you know, that they can bully or some sense, right?
Yeah.
And they find out pretty quick that that's not the case, but that doesn't stop them from the attempt of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was another aspect of it. But if you have any specific questions about growing up, I'll be happy to answer them.
So you came here when you were 7. So
7.
You pretty much have a good memory when it comes to back home.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, and I went like 4 or 5 times back since then.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a good memory of it. I have a good recollection of it.
Okay. How was the school system
over there?
Yeah.
Oh man. So I came up before.
I wonder if it's the same. Go
it's
ahead.
crazy, dude. So we're in the village. I remember vividly. We used to walk to school, and it was probably a good 1 mile walk or maybe 2 miles. No, it was definitely more than a mile. It was probably like a 2 mile walk. It was a 2 mile walk, no shoes or nothing. And this is just me. I'm not representing Bangladesh, by the way, right? Yeah. I'm just representing my experience, right? Because there's going to be people out there, if they hear it, they're going to be like, oh, you made Bangladesh seem like this. It's like, no, this was my experience. You know what I mean?
Experience.
Yeah. So I, no shoes, right? Going to school, no shoes. There's like creeks and things that I'm going over. And more than likely in this journey, I didn't make it to school, because me and my friends, we probably skipped school. And can you imagine, bro, at 5 years old, we used to be smoking cigarettes. And cigarettes, it's not really called cigarettes, it's called something called bili. And bili is literally tobacco leaf, and inside of it is tobacco. That's what you're smoking, right? So as a kid, 5, 6 years old, I was legitimately...
Tobacco leaf with tobacco inside of it?
Inside of it. And I might be slightly wrong in the way I'm describing it, but I think that's about it, right? Because I don't want to give false information. I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not that smart also to know, you know, so...
Don't call him.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was. Yeah, so we'd be... I think I probably went to school probably like 7 days, bro. And I'm probably highly exaggerating on that, but maybe not by too much. Yeah. Like we skip school all the time because it just, nobody knows. You know, it's not like the teacher's calling you home because there's no phones. Yeah. You know what I mean? We didn't have electricity. There's no parent-teacher conferences and things like that. There's none of that stuff, you know?
It's about the same thing in Haiti. I might actually get whoopings.
Yeah.
And anybody can whoop you in Haiti.
Yeah, same in Bangladesh. So I remember, bro. So I used to go to the masjid, right? And in the masjid, I remember the imam. He would have like this long bamboo stick, bro, and he'd be sitting on one side where he's sitting, and then there's like, let's say 20 kids. Yeah. And if he doesn't like how he's from his seat, he'll go like and hit you, right? And if he hit the wrong person, you're just collateral damage. Right? True story, bro. True story. I remember that.
It's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Collateral damage. Why are you next to the bad kid?
So I don't care.
Yeah. Life is different, bro. My mom, though, I used to get hit by her, though. I remember that. Yeah. In America, I didn't really get hit or anything, but when I was in Bangladesh, bro, like let's just say your friends or your cousins, they knew you were gonna get beating today. Yeah. all the jokes from the whole day is, oh, you better put some oil on your back tonight. Oh, you know, like everyone just amping it up of when you're gonna get beat. Oh man.
It becomes like a game.
Yeah. Bro, I remember the day that because I grew up with on my mom's side. I remember the day that they came to take me to bring me to America. Bro, like, cause all I knew was I was leaving my mom.
Right.
I didn't know about America. I don't know about, right. So I was running, I was hiding. Eventually they found me under a bed and they took me out so I can come over here. But I was trying my best to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I remember that. The same thing
Yeah?
happened to us.
Yeah?
We came here with my dad. We had to leave my mom behind. But my mom came when I was like 15. So I just want to say I went through just about every piece of life, so I know how to relate to just about anybody, to be honest.
That's important. That's important. Experiences, and that's one of the things that you really lose out when you choose not to interact with others, is you kind of miss out on perspective on life, right? Because you just kind of know what you know, and so you don't necessarily always know how to interact with others because your perspective and viewpoints is just based off of what you know, right?
Yeah. I say that until for me it was like what was hard was growing up, there was not a lot of people around me that could keep up with my mentality.
Sure. I can relate to that as well. I think I might have talked to you about this before as far as mentorship and stuff like that. I can't really recollect anyone that I really saw as a mentor by any means. I don't really remember anyone even giving me advice on things. I just don't remember anything like that because I don't think it happened. But it's just, so one thing that I did, I don't know if we talked about this particularly, but this is something I do like to mention, is we were talking about earlier how you can learn something from everything, right? And so I used to watch a lot of Indian movies, Bollywood movies, right? And at that time, Indian movies were very different in the sense that they really valued morality and principles and ethics and stuff like that. So whoever was a hero of the movie, which every movie had a hero, you know, in those movies, you know, that person was always like almost like 100% just. So even if the slightest thing happened that was negative, there was something that happened to make up for it. The hero was always a family man. He always cared about, you know, relationships, about honor, about dignity, about principles, about family and things like that. All that stuff was important, right? Yeah. And that's how movies were made before. These days it's a lot more, you know, about sex and X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, you know. But at that time it was like that. So a lot of the principles and values and things that I learned, to be very honest, I learned it from Bollywood movies.
That's good.
Yeah.
Really see stuff like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, there still is. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say that, but
it's just not as common.
Yeah.
You know. But those are the things I value, man. I value principles. And I'm not saying I'm a good person. I'm really not.
Yeah, human.
But yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But exactly.
I got my pros and cons.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. For sure. And that's why and this is gonna sound crazy, and I guess I'm saying it on video, but that's why I'll be the first one to say I'm a hypocrite. You know, I'll be the first one to say I'm fake. I'll be the first one to say all these kind of things, because why try to act like you're kind of not? Because everyone is, I think, to a degree, a hypocrite. Yeah. But when you try to hide that, that's when I think you're not a good person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because now you're trying to hide who you are, right? And so I'll just say I'm a hypocrite. Now you can talk to me or not talk to me or whatever it is. Yeah. And then once you really get to know me, you'll get to see what I mean by what I'm a hypocrite. Yeah. What do I really mean by that? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I am happy with myself. I truly am. I really am happy with myself. I'm happy with my life. I'm grateful to God for the things that I have, my family, my X, Y, and Z type of things. You know what I mean? I'm good with myself. So I don't need to lie about myself to make somebody else feel good, because that would make me feel really bad, right? If I catch somebody lying about me to make me look good, that really makes me get offended, because it's like, what? Who am I? Am I not good enough that, you know, you can talk to someone about me, the actual me, that you got to make something up? Are you saying that I'm just not good enough? You know what I mean? Like, that to me is offensive, you know? I'd rather you say exactly who I am, the way I am, even if it's all negative, and that's fine. I'll say, yeah, that's all true. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? What do I gotta, you know?
Yeah. The thing is that you know who you are, and you know who you're trying to be, and there's always growth.
And I know who I'm not.
Yeah.
Right? I know who I'm not.
So I say, for me, the perfect thing I used to say is, my perfection is being imperfect.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah.
So
you're human, right?
Yeah.
I agree. And I feel like it gives me confidence knowing that I'm okay with who I am. But I'm not okay with who I am where I feel like I don't need to be better. That's not the case, right? Because I've seen people that I think are better than me, many people, right? So I use them as something to strive for.
Yeah, stepping stone.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's up? So now so how was it growing up here?
It was good. It was good because I don't have any complaints, bro. I'll be honest. I am Muslim and all that kind of stuff, and I can't really say that I grew up facing racism, or I can't really say I grew up where people hated me, or like people treated me bad or negative or things like that. I just didn't have those experiences. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Yeah. I'm just saying I didn't have those experiences, right? So it was good. I mean, I played a lot of sports, and I was always happy with that. And then I met my wife at a relatively young age. I met her when I was about 21, actually 20. I turned 21 after I met her. So from a relatively young age, age of 20, I met the person that was going to be my wife, and I'm 34 now. So from that 20 to and on is a lot of time to, make a lot of mistakes and do a lot of wrong things. And being married at a young age, I feel like really kept me on a straight path. And I'm not saying I haven't done anything wrong till then or anything like that, but I feel like it has really kept me kept me on a very nice path. To be, to understand responsibility and try my best to live up to the responsibilities as well, right? That's always been an intentional type of thing. Failure is my biggest fear. I know you didn't ask, but failure is my biggest fear. Failure is my biggest fear, and that could be anything, right? Failures, and it's crazy. Failure is my biggest fear, and I know how many ways and how many things affect me in the way I act, and the way I talk, and the way I interact. Always knowing that I don't want to fail, right? And that's not always a good thing. Having this kind of fear of failure is not always a good thing. It's actually not too much of a good thing at all, right? I remember when I mentioned I used to play a lot of sports. I used to rarely ever play basketball. Because all the other kids were taller than me, and I'm not going to be that good. And I got to be good. If I'm playing it, I got to be good, So I just wouldn't play basketball.
I'm not even going to
Yeah. I'm not even going to try. Because
if I'm mad if you're not good at it.
Because if I'm playing, I got to be like a superstar,
I was going to say, what's your favorite sport and what sport you're not good at, but you already answered what not good at.
Football is my favorite sport.
Okay.
Football is I love football.
Flag football or real football?
Nah, real football.
Okay.
Although I gotta say, I haven't played too much of real football in the sense of pads and helmet and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But I played a lot of street football. Okay. But I did play some real football as well. In high school, I played some, and then I mentioned I played Pop Warner a little bit when I was younger. I dislocated my shoulder. I messed up my shoulder in football, and so then I went to wrestling, and I didn't tell them that I got a messed up shoulder. So then I got into the wrestling team, and then I messed up my shoulder again, and this time I needed surgery, and that was pretty much the end of it. Yeah. I love football, bro.
You should put your phone down.
True.
Overheat.
True.
Oh yeah, that's the life of being a boy. You know what I mean?
It is.
Growing up, man, I used to feel like I was Superman.
Yeah.
Like, the way I used to get hurt, I used to recover so damn fast. Well, I was like, and then.
So you got this here.
Yeah, I like Superman.
Me too. That was my favorite superhero growing up.
Yeah.
Always my favorite superhero growing up. And then we went to this open mic event at that place. Oh, you were there? That's right. We went to Deland together, right?
Oh, yeah.
When we were there, I was very honest when I said that. Like, as I'm getting older, I feel like my favorite superhero is me. And for one, those superheroes don't necessarily exist. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's kind of like a concept, right? So why it's me? It just is. It just is.
Nah, you know who you are. Like, I mean, nobody knows better than you, but you don't know yourself better than God.
For sure, I agree.
So.
I agree. I agree. I do that now. Ever since I've been going to Poetic Thursdays. Now, like when someone says something that I can really vibe with or I can really feel it, I literally go like this. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone on the phone and I'll just be like this by myself. I do that often, actually. Yeah. Because I feel like there's a level of respect that you're giving someone by doing this, and only you know what you're feeling. And you don't want to necessarily maybe do all that, and you could, but there's something about doing this that just is like really genuine,
Yeah, very classy.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. That's something that I'll carry on with me for the rest of my life is this, you know? So even with AIPC and stuff, like I could already imagine we have like big board meetings and X, Y, and Z, and someone says something that I really like, and I'll be like, hey.
Like, huh?
Yeah, a guy asked me the other day, I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, are you listening to Lil Jon?
Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah.
Snap your fingers.
Yeah. I can't get that side out of me right now, but yeah.
That's funny. I know you had mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned it when we recorded, but you said that your first poem, well, you used to write poems as a kid. What made you, or you said that was the about the golf girl, right? You mind saying that again? Like that story?
Sure. So basically, the whole story? Or it wasn't recorded.
I don't know if it
wasn't recorded. Okay. That's fine.
I'm gonna check, but
that's fine. I'll just kind of recap on it. So yeah, I do like writing poetry. Before that, I did write Cat in the Hat type of poems and stuff like that. But one thing about me, I think it's a gift that maybe God has given me, or maybe I'm making it up. I don't know, but I feel like it's true. Where I can really feel for other people's pain. Yeah. Right. And it really affects me. Affects me not in the sense that because I feel like someone else's pain I get depressed. It doesn't affect me in that way. But when I feel somebody else's pain, it makes me want to do something to help them, right? I have that effect, right? Yeah. But anyways, so it was a competition going on. It was in middle school. I don't remember what grade. Maybe it was 7th grade or maybe 8th grade. And so one of my classmates, she was goth, and I remember she used to always be sad, man. Honestly, she used to always be sad, and there's a lot of people like that, man. As you get older and you start realizing that there's a lot of sad people out there, bro. When you look at statistics of how many people have a best friend, there aren't too many people that can say, I have 2 people that I can count on in my hardship. But anyways, going back to middle school, so there was a poetry contest. You had to pick an emotion. That's what it was. You had to pick an emotion that you wanted to write on, right? And I guess I picked depression, and I wasn't depressed I just wasn't. Like, I was a happy kid. I was a happy kid. I had friends and I had sports, and when I went home, that was just home. But so I decided to pick depression, and I tried to feel what she may feel and wrote that poem. And I didn't really think it was that good. I still don't. Actually, I definitely now don't think it's that good after going to Poetic Thursday and seeing the type of talent that's out there. I haven't even had the courage to even recite it because, like, nah. It's like some baby crap,
I promise you should.
So I wrote. It was out of depression, and so I won. I think like 2nd or 3rd place. I don't remember. And the counselor called me into her office to make sure that I'm not suicidal or something like that. And so she noticed really quick that I'm not suicidal, because when I went to the office, I was dressed a certain way and I was talking with a smile, and she realized really quick that I'm not depressed. So she asked me, and I said, no, it's nothing like that. I don't have anything sad or anything like that. But she didn't ask for the whole story of where it came from, so I didn't share. But yeah.
I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
Like all my poems. I say 98% of my poems are not even about me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And when I tell people, and people used to typically be they in shock when I say that, but I had a hard time feeling emotions. So all my stuff is like from an analyst perspective. So I'm able to put myself in people's shoes, and because I used to just study people growing up, so that's why I was like, and to the point where I got so good at it, and you're pretty much in inside the matrix, where I start seeing people aura, like with the colors and everything, like force field. That it sounds something. When I say that, it kind of sounds crazy, but there's people out there that be saying stuff like that. So
it actually. So honestly, man, as I meet more people through this journey, I realize that there's some really special people out there, bro. Some really, really special people out there, and so I don't doubt it for a second, the fact that you do, and I'm not necessarily even too surprised that you do, to be honest with you, because initially when we met, you said a lot of things to me, but at that time those were just kind of words, right? And then as I got to talk to you a little bit more, because I make decisions kind of quick, right? It's not a good thing, I don't know, or a bad thing, I don't know. But you as you've told me a lot of the things that you're working on, a lot of the things that you have in your mind, and X, Y, and Z, It's all intentional things, you know. Like you're I think you said you're 30.
Yeah.
You're 30, right? So you're relatively young. I mean, younger than me, obviously. I'm 34. And the things that you've accomplished in your life so far are intentional. And, you know, they're planned out in X, Y, and Z. And it's not just any random person that can do that kind of stuff in this day and age, especially, you know, coming from Haiti over here, starting a whole new, you know, life with your family and X, Y, and Z. So naturally, there has to be something special about you for you to be able to do these kind of things. So I believe it 1,000%, and I congratulate you on being able to utilize your talents to be able to do good for yourself on your life. Honestly, I get very happy. I get very happy when I see people succeeding. I swear to God. Now I am very competitive, right? So when someone knows I'm competing with them, I still wish them all the luck. But just a little bit less than my luck, you know. And I know I don't believe in luck. I said that earlier, but just as a figure of speech type of conversation, you know.
It helps you strive. It helps you competitive. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
What's wrong with it is people that's competing and trying to tear down somebody.
Right.
While doing it.
For sure.
So for me, I'm always looking at ways to bring people. I promote people, this and that. I mean, everything I do is like that too.
That's the best way, bro. That's the best way. You know, there's this idea people have that in order for you to like go high in life, you have to kick others down. And what they don't realize,
only at the top. That's stupid ass.
Right, that is stupid. Yeah. And if you bring others up with you, then when someone else tries to kick you,
I win. Right. I win. You win.
Plus,
Simple
you have a team. If someone else is trying to kick you, those bad people that want to go to the top by themselves, now they don't have to only deal with you. They got to deal with your army.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of people that care.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree with that philosophy 1,000%, and that's something that AIPC believes in 1,000%, and that's the way that AIPC wants to grow in the world, is by bringing everyone else up with it. Truly.
And usually the people that agree to that, you're lonely at the top, or you know, you gotta kick people, is because they surround themselves. One, they themselves are pretty bad, typically, and they surround themselves with bad energy.
Sure.
Like for me, it's very important for me to surround myself with good energy, and it's easy for me to pick people like that. Like I could go in the room and already
awesome,
kind of
man.
break people down. Like you're the way. I'm not gonna say I know exactly how you are, but once I started learning a little bit more, it amplified that. So, but I could talk to somebody, and then like some people could tell me like what they trying to work on, this and that, and I could break down their goals, their this, and I'm giving advice, this and this. But what I used to find hard is for people who used to have a hard time keeping up with me. So even all the stuff, like I could tell you, like as I be saying, I could tell people exactly what I'm going to be doing. I could let you the blueprint, and people will still act surprised, you know. So but the thing for me, I move like this. My brain, that's how in my mind, like this where you don't really see that because of my face, but in my mind, this is how it is.
I feel you. I feel you. As a matter of fact, no, I completely feel you. As a matter of fact, well, I feel you, and I am somewhat good at reading people as well, but I feel like I can learn quite a bit from you. I really feel like I could learn quite a bit from you on that aspect of it, right? On that subject of it. Because especially when you mentioned that you can see like the aura and like, you know, you can see that kind of stuff, that means you understand it to a whole different level, right? To a complete different level. And it's kind of hard to put into words because when even if you say that, it just sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot of shit I used to say,
well, you know what, man? Sometimes I feel like being crazy in this day and age is not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if I quite want to be normal these days. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're walking the average world, I guess. That's it. The things that I feel like for me, there's a lot of things that people say that's like issues that's like for example like ADHD. Like it depends how you look at it. For me, I feel like I had ADHD, and but the thing for me is, I learned I'm a type of person I have a conquer mentality. So whatever weakness I have, I must conquer it. So
strong, dude.
Yeah. So that actually helped me because I'm able to think about a lot of shit, and you know, break down a bunch of information, and I don't get overwhelmed like that. Like I have a high tolerance for stress.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah, that's what's up. So I'll share a story. I used to have a motorcycle. When I first met my wife, at the time I used to have a motorcycle, and we used to go around everywhere on my motorcycle. And one time we came home, and at that time we had a car also. because my wife was driving the car and I was driving the motorcycle. So at that time we had went out in the car and came back home, and the motorcycle was gone. It was stolen, right? And my wife was like freaking out. She was like, you know, like crying, because I mean there's a lot of sentimental value that we had on the motorcycle because of the amount of time that we spent on the motorcycle together. So it did have that value a lot. But I was like, all right, well, I guess we gotta call the cops, call insurance, blah blah blah, do our thing. And she's like, you don't even care. I was like, babe, it's stolen. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, it's already gone. You know, there's nothing I can do now. So I just did my thing, and yeah, that's just. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't cry. I don't like to cry over spilt milk.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, how do I clean it up?
Yeah,
right? That's
the thing. That's why I be saying. And some people will see you as like a person who don't give a fuck. In a way, like you don't really care.
Yeah, a lot of people
it's
see
like,
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the thing is like there's so much you could control. Like the stuff I can control, or the stuff I could do. Like for example.
I'm so sorry. Let me let my wife know that I'm not there.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
But yeah, there's so much stuff you can control in the world, and the stuff I can't control, I'm not gonna try making it where it's gonna stress me out like that. You know, I'm gonna do my best to come with a solution. I'm a critical thinker. Like whatever that comes my way, I adapt, and then I conquer after. Once you learn, it's some people don't really see stuff like that, but that's where, like once you start learning the programs of everything in life, you could move. You know how to move. You know, so
how'd you get this knowledge?
I feel like I was kind of born with it, to be honest. Like I've been like this since I was little, to be honest. But in a way, it's from my experience, and I always felt like I used to always like hear God, to be honest. But you know, when you say stuff like that, growing up around people that can't have that same mentality or can't keep up, you typically look like you're crazy, or to make themselves feel great, they call you dumb, or because they can't keep up or this and that, because you kind of. You're going against what they can comprehend.
Sure.
So, and there's a lot of stuff. But I say, and just seeing the world. To be honest, I used to hate the world in a way. I used to have a love-hate thing for it. So, emotion, and it got to, and I went through a lot of stuff, but got to the point where I just stopped feeling emotions. Where I started feeling emotion at 8 years old. So, but that's when I kind of start finding myself in a way, because when I like the whole emotion part, it was good, don't get me wrong, it's cool to feel that, but it helps me to think clearly.
Sure.
But I kind of learned how to combine emotions.
Yeah, naturally.
So now I'm more balanced for sure.
Right.
But growing up, the whole feeling emotion thing, this and that, I didn't feel it. Probably the closest thing I used to feel was probably anger. I know I expressed anger, but it was like, typically stuff happens. That's the way from the time you was born to this. That's it. Everybody will. Not everybody's gonna end up being the same.
When was the last time you cried? Wait, I'm not supposed to be interviewing you, but
last time I cried.
Yeah.
Probably like a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, I was like that. Like, I ain't gonna cry. Well, fuck, I look like crying. But like I said, I'll say for sure, I'm more balanced, which I know how to flip it. Sure. Like I know how to flip the switch. The switch. Yeah. So I'm still the same. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just more human. Because I used to feel like I was a robot, and I used to just watch people and see how they move, and I kind of used to just start mimicking them based on, because I thought that's how you're supposed to feel. But sure. I knew something was wrong with me, but that's how, for me, I have a conquer mentality. So it's like I always had this and this going back and forth. It's either my heart and my brain. Like my heart was good, my brain, I'll say, it was bad. Like, because the stuff I see and stuff like that. So it's like, but I always knew I was not gonna be like, if I wanted to, I could be a bad person and use my skills and this and that. Probably be the the best, baddest person you could think of.
Sure.
But for me, it's like I believe in God. So always believe in God since I was little, and I always felt like I used to hear God talk to me all the time. So,
Keeps you humble, right?
Yeah. So and my goal is like simple. Like I want to make it to heaven. It's that simple. So
Beautiful,
like for me,
dude.
yeah, for me, there's a lot of things. To me, like some of the stuff like in life is just common sense. Like yeah, you could go through a lot of shit. I'm not gonna blame. Like yeah, to some degree, the stuff you go through it affects you, but it's what you're gonna do from that. You know, if you're gonna just soak into your situation and you're not gonna do anything about it, or you're not gonna look for help, you're not gonna let people come into your life and things like that, then it's like kind of hard, you know. So for me, I could literally say I could have ended up like one of those craziest person you could think of, but I knew that's not what I want deep down.
You know, it's actually really, honestly, it's actually really, like there's a lot of things that went through my head as we were talking, right? And one of the things that went through my head is because when you think of like a serial killer, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
Or when you think of as not even a serial killer, an assassin, let's say that. Forget about serial killer. Let's say an assassin. Yeah. Right? There's some particular talents or abilities that they have. Yeah. Right? To be able to do it successfully, especially. Right? If you're a bad assassin, you're gonna be dead before you know it, right? But to be a successful assassin, you got to be very smart in a lot of different ways, right? Now, what keeps you when your abilities from being an assassin is believing in God, because you want to go to heaven, right? So that naturally changes the equation because what you're trying to accomplish is different, right? You're the guy who's is an assassin is probably just trying to accomplish money, right? Or contracts, or fame, or name, or whatever, you know, respect, whatever the hell he thinks, you know what I mean? But you're trying to make it to heaven. So the formula that you have is naturally going to be different than his formula, but you have the skills that he has along with your heart, and that's the direction you're trying to, you know, so that makes you work hard in life, accomplish the things that you are accomplishing, the things that you will accomplish, and then God willing at the end make it to heaven. Right? That's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Exactly, that's it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You ever think about being an assassin?
No.
Nah, you said you believe in God since you were 8, I think, right? So
I say since I was born, to be honest.
Since you were
like
born,
things like I see visions. That's the thing. Like and that's why I have that concept. Like I be telling people exactly what I'm gonna be doing. It's like for me the best feeling, the high I could tell since I was little. It's like when you imagine you sleeping in the morning, whatever, and let's just say the morning light hits your eyes. That's how it feels like for me. I've been feeling like that since I was little. Once I feel that warmness in my eyes when I have like a vision, I know it's gonna come true, and it always does.
That's strong. Like, that's beautiful.
I never really questioned God, to be honest, since I was little.
I can't say the same. Can't say the same as far as questioning God. So probably from the age of 14, 15. Yeah, probably from that age to the age of, let's say, maybe 26. Probably. I went through a phase where I didn't necessarily believe in God. Right? I guess I'd say I was an atheist. And a lot of that has to do with not being properly educated as a kid. And then a lot of that also has to do with I'm just not somebody that just believes something just because somebody said it to me. I'm just not. And because I didn't have the education, all that left is just things that I heard. Right? And being born into something doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right thing or it's good. Right? So just because I was born into a Muslim family doesn't necessarily mean that I have to believe in any of that stuff. It was just things that I was told, right? And I didn't have education in it. I didn't have formal education. So naturally the question that came to me is, and somebody asked me this, and although I argued with that person at the time, I thought about it more later, and I was like, They asked me, well, if God exists, then why do people get raped? Why is there so much poverty? Why is there so much sadness? Why is there all that? And that's a question that I could try to answer it all I want, but I didn't really have an answer for. And then around the age of maybe 23, maybe in that age, right? I started doing research, and I was trying my absolute best to prove that God doesn't exist through research. Because I wanted to ask all the questions. I wanted to know everything. Because that idea that if God exists, why is there sadness? I couldn't get over that, right? There's nothing, I just couldn't get over that. And then eventually at some point, I got all the answers that I was looking for. And I did feel like I get the answer to that as well. To the question of why does sadness exist? If God exists, then why does sadness exist? Why is there people getting raped and molested and X, Y, and Z? Why can that still happen even though God exists? And then I started believing.
What was the answer you think you found?
So, it's obviously a very long answer, but I'll give the answer. But I'll give the answer, right? And it's a long answer in the sense that even if we have time, you have to kind of be in that mode, right? Like, you know what I mean? But the answer is this. There's trials and tribulations in life. Everyone's challenges are very different, right? So I don't know if my wife will be happy if I use her as an example, but I'll go ahead and use her as an example, right? I know that she goes through severe migraines. She has chronic migraines, right? Severe chronic migraines. And I know how hard it is for her to live with that. And I know how much she fights to live with it. And I know how much she does to try to make sure that she's still a perfect mother, in my opinion, and a perfect wife, in my opinion. And just as good of a human being as I could want as my wife, right? But I know all the struggles that she goes through and nobody else does, right? So, yeah, she wasn't tested by God with the struggle of not having an arm or a leg or being a quadriplegic. I don't know if I said that right, right? She wasn't tested with that. She was tested with her migraines. Because it's very easy to say, hey, I have this issue, so I can't take on any of these responsibilities. Very easy to say that, right? So someone, now going back to, well, Abu, that's not the same as someone getting raped, right? It's not the same. But God knows that you got raped, and God is going to judge how you react to it. Do you have faith in God to react in it the way that he would want you to react? That's the challenge. Now, what is the reward? Everyone gets a different reward, right? When we go to heaven, so me personally, in our religion, we believe in there's different levels of heaven as well, right? So the trials and tribulations you went through and the way you reacted to it is what depicts what level of heaven you're in, right? So somebody who, like, sometimes when I go through hard shit, I find it as a blessing. I really do, because it's like, you know what, I'm glad God tested me with this because I know I reacted to it the best that I could. From the best of my heart, the best way that I could from my heart.
And let me add on to that real quick. And what you said, for me, I feel like that too, and it kind of prepares you for if like something less of a struggle was to come.
Sure.
And it's like, that ain't nothing. I already went through the worst, Sure.
Now check this out. So even the things, I feel like even what we have is actually a challenge. The fact that I have two hands is actually a challenge. It's a test from God. The fact that I have two hands. Why? Because am I going to use these two hands to do good in the world, or am I going to use it to do bad? Now guess what? The guy who's a quadriplegic, he doesn't have that challenge from God. He's not going to be tested on what he did with his hands. I am. Right? The fact that I can see is my own challenge. Now, the test is, with these eyes that I have, what good did I do in the world? Or did I use it to do bad? Right? That's a challenge that someone who's blind doesn't have. Right? So, trials and tribulations, and then there's rewards, and there's people out there that are suffering, and there's people out there that are in a good position. So the challenge for the people that are suffering is to withstand the suffering, believing in God for the reward afterwards. And the people that aren't in a better position, their challenge is using what God gave them to help. Because if they don't use what God gave them to help, then they're failing their challenge. Right? So then it makes sense. And then I started believing.
That's what's up. Like that.
Truly it.
Yeah.
Because until then, I wasn't going to believe in God. Why should I? If it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to believe it just because somebody said it to me. That's just not me. That's just not how I am or who I am. Right? It has to make sense to me.
Everybody has their own journey.
Right.
Not everybody. There's no perfect person.
For sure.
I don't care who you think you are.
For sure.
You're not perfect.
For sure. And that's why I love to say all of my faults. Because you know what? I'm not expected to be perfect. So why don't I just tell you my faults?
The funny thing, I used to do that. Like, you always honest like this. I think mine was more in the relationships. Like the hardest thing for me was like relationship with let's say it was like a boyfriend or girlfriend type of relationship. Like being in a relationship with, like, say I have a guy best friend and a girl best friend. I was like, okay. Like even when I wasn't really feeling emotion and things like that, to me it was like I'll say I was the top logical person that you could think of. So when it comes to like relationship, it was a battle. We talking about, yo, this don't make no sense.
Sure,
like,
sure. And you know,
so I had to learn.
That's something important that you mentioned about how you have this ability to be logical, rational, and analyze things, right? You could have used that same talent to be an assassin.
Yeah.
Or you could use that talent to do good in the world.
Yeah.
And from everything I know about you, you're trying to do good in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you can't help others if you're not in a position to be able to help others. Yeah. So naturally, you have to put yourself in a position to help others. Then you can help others.
Yeah.
Right.
That's literally why I literally just said that shit to Chase. I be saying that all the time, but it's at the end of the day, it's facts.
Right.
You can't help nobody unless you help yourself.
Right. Right. And when you're on a plane, what's the first thing they say is put your mask on first before you help somebody else. Why?
Yeah.
How are you gonna help somebody if you don't have air?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Logic. It's pretty common sense. Yeah. But sometimes people be thinking that I have to be in a certain position in order for me to even help somebody. Like, you could not have that much money, you still could help people.
For sure.
Like some people, like they be making that excuse. Like there's some people. I'm not gonna say not every rich person is like selfish and this and that, but there are some people like they use that as an excuse. I have to have this amount in order for me to care. No, just simple. You picking up the phone call, calling somebody, seeing how they are, and this and that. Or like for me, I use my resources. I have a lot of connections to a lot of things. And even with the way I am, like even with my business, we like to give back to the community. We host events. We used to host a lot of events like that too. And for me, is like every time I'm done with a service, I take my time to sit down and talk to my clients. I like conversations. I really like the service just because I get to talk to people. That's one reason. Like cleaning, I'm good at cleaning, but I don't like cleaning. Like, be so honest with you, like, but I like it because I'm able to, like, because it's mobile, I'm able to meet different people every single day, and once, like I said, once I'm done with the service, I take like 10 minutes to talk to my clients to see what they're going through, what's their life, and find what ways I could help them and what ways they could help me, this and that. And I use my connection. If they're looking for something, I try to find that connection to. But that's kind of like the purpose of Service X, which is actually met. I feel like you should come. You should meet the team, but you should meet the other board member. So we actually met through going through. I met him at a networking event. Since then we kind of just.
Oh wow! Yeah. Look at that.
So yeah. So
you networked at a networking event.
Yeah. So we had the kind of almost the same idea what we're trying to build. Like kind of the same thing you're building to, like bring people together. And right now, what we're doing is bring different businesses together so we could help each other grow, use our knowledge, use our connections, and eventually give back to the community and this and that.
That's awesome, bro. I would love to meet them. Truly, I would love to meet them. I would love that opportunity.
Even if you don't stay, that's cool. But you know, at least you can meet. At least, you know, if you're looking for something like that. Some group of people that can help you with your journey. Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I hope I'm worthy enough, and I'm able to, I'm worthy enough for you guys to be part of it. Truly, because I have, like, the more that I speak with you, the more respect I'm developing for you, and so naturally, I can see us working nicely together if we can take it that far, But yeah, I am very intentional with all of the moves that I'm trying to make. And the only priority that I have, well, I got two priorities right now over AIPC. And that's obviously one is my family and two is my work. But I hope to be able to take AIPC to a level where it'll be my priority over my family and my work, believe it or not. Yeah. There's going to come a time, God willing, where even if I have to, sacrifice all my time with my family for AIPC, that's what I'll do. because I really want to change the world for good. I'm just not satisfied with it, bro. Where it is at right now, the things are right now, though, you know, all the sadness, all the injustice and things like that, I'm just not okay with it.
I'll say you don't need to sacrifice. I wouldn't say that, but is having your family be more involved in what you're doing. And
let's see, bro. God willing, I can find a nice transition, you know. But I'm prepared for the worst. So, truly, I'm prepared for the worst. Like, I really mean that when I say I'm prepared for the worst. I'm prepared for the worst. So long as I can continue my mission. But obviously, before I like really sacrifice the worst, AIPC has to get to a certain level. Right now, people at Poetic Thursdays, nobody. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lose my life over it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta reach a certain.
You gotta give me a reason.
Yeah.
Like, give me a reason, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's crazy. Yeah, but I mean, I see what you're trying to build. I don't want to say trying, but I see what you're building. Yeah, what you're doing is a good thing for the community, for the world, and everything. So.
This is nothing, bro. This is nothing. This is like this is like
small, yeah.
This is like that much of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, trust me. I feel the same way. Like, people be thinking that I do a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I'm able to handle a lot of stuff. So, like, I like I mentioned earlier about the whole Google thing, and how right now we're in a slow period, so I'm able to do a lot of things, and I'm trying to put on building my foundation. I got like 4 or 5 different foundations I'm building right now. The goal is to make them blow up and things like that, go back to where I was at, and even more better, so that way we could give more back to the community, things like that.
That's awesome, man.
So
that's awesome.
But yeah,
that's my thing also. I want to be able to take AIPC to a level where we give back 95% of every dollar that we make, right? By the time we get to a level that, like, for example, a company like Dollar General is at, by the time we even get there, and that's not unfathomable to think that we can create something that's as big as Dollar General, right? That's not unfathomable. But by the time we even get on that level, I want to be able to give, let's say, 75-80 cents of every dollar that we make back to the world, to fund many of the things that we want to do.
Okay. And right now, you guys are a non-profit, right?
Nope. AIPC is not a non-profit.
What?
AIPC is a for-profit.
For-profit. Okay.
Right? Why? Because all the things that we want to fund, if we have to rely on people and their donations, we're not going to be able to do it. Yeah. That's why throughout history, none of this stuff has ended. Yeah. Because we think that we have to rely on money to be able to solve these problems. Yeah. So I think we have to use compassion as a starting point, right? Money is naturally part of it. And so instead of asking anyone for money, because when you ask somebody for money, they have leverage over you. Yeah. I don't want anyone to have any leverage over me. Yeah. I'm not going to sacrifice my principles, my morals, and X, Y, and Z. So I want to generate my own income. Yeah. And we have a plan, and the plan is going through. As a matter of fact, right now, I just had a handshake agreement with the gentleman that owns a construction company, and he has a kitchen, kitchen remodeling, all that kind of stuff. Before I came here, I was actually at his place to check out his place. And so he agreed that he wants to partner with AIPC, and so what he's going to do is anyone that goes to him through AIPC, he's going to give them 2.5% off, right? And from that 2.5%, 1% is going to go to AIPC. What are we going to do with that 1%? We're going to fund things like food drives and all these kind of things. Not the whole 1%, but I already said it. As soon as we need an accountant, we're going to give away 20% of what we make. But remember, we have to build ourselves to be able to give more, right? I mean, even right now I give, but what I give right now is not having a huge impact. For me to be able to end poverty in the world and make sure everyone in the world has healthcare and education and X, Y, and Z, we need a lot more, right? So I want to be able to create a company that is generating that type of income where we can take care of people in Asia and Africa and South America and every other continent in the world. Compassion doesn't have any borders, right? So it's for all over the place, all over the world. And I'm very confident we'll get there. Yeah. The more people that I meet like yourself who are driven to work hard to make money to help others, it's just a matter of putting these people together. That's it. Imagine me and you, we come together, we both have the same intent, we both have the same drive, we're both, we're both in a mindset of just trying to achieve the most. But then what do we want to do with it? We want to give it away. How beautiful is that, right? Right? And it's people like that. I want to amplify those kind of thoughts. I want to amplify those kind of people. And those are the people that I want to grow with. Yeah. Because if we can grow that way, where we really believe that you don't have to kick somebody down and you can rise together, then imagine if we're all holding hands when we're rising, how hard it's going to be break that bound. It's going to be very hard, right? And so that's really the goal. That's truly the goal, is to have that kind of a network built where we can have all this money that we get. See, there is enough money in the world to solve a lot of these problems. There just isn't enough compassion. I want to use capitalism. I want to use the principles of capitalism to do the things that I want to do that is nonprofit, right? If we have a food drive, I don't have to donate the money to somebody else's food drive. AIPC will have its own food drive. Yeah. Right? Poetic Thursday, the food drive that we're doing, AIPC is part of it.
I'm laughing because I had that conversation with Chase yesterday. That
means we're like-minded, bro. Good. That means we're aligned in our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up. And we just need to find a lot more people that are like that all around the world. Not just in Orlando, not just in Florida, not just in America. All around the world, we need to find people like that, and we need to build that network. Because there's just too much sadness in the world, bro. Yeah. And a lot of the sadness, I'll be honest, man, it's my belief that a lot of the sadness...
Sorry.
A lot of the sadness and misery in the world, it is systematic, right? It's intentional. Because, throughout history, we've seen that people in positions of power, divide and conquer has been a policy throughout history that we've noticed. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
So what do we have to do if we want to reverse? We have to unite.
Yeah.
I think like we've already seen the formula.
Yeah.
Now we just have to figure out what we have to do to change the formula to create the positive impact, right? So divide and conquer has been the formula that's been used by people in positions of power to stay in power and suppress others. Yeah. So what do we have to do to reverse that? Instead of dividing, we have to unite and conquer.
Yeah.
Right? Now the solution becomes completely different, right? Divide and conquer equals the people in elite positions staying in elite positions. Unite and conquer equals what? We'll see we'll see.
Yeah. It's all about finding the right people that see the same vision.
Right.
And that have the same heart.
And that's the mission I'm on.
So,
is to find those people, truly.
And I said, like, a good amount of the world is, there's rich people, but there's more bad rich people than good rich people.
And so, to be honest, man, statements like that, I want to agree with it, but I'd rather just not.
You know what I mean?
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just telling you.
You know what I mean?
Don't call me, but no.
So
ideally, you feel me? So it's like, and there's a combination, but I'll say, like, for the people they consider poor, is finding, because there's bad poor people and there's good poor people. So it's finding the good poor people and finding the good rich people,
right,
and bringing them together,
right.
And then what he's gonna do is he's gonna be a war. That's pretty much what it is. There's gonna be bad poor people, bad rich people going against the good people.
So here's how I envision it, right? As far as the AIPC is concerned, right? There are systems in place to make sure that kids grow up in misery.
Yeah.
There's systems in place to make sure that kids don't grow up in a positive way. Why? Because when these kids grow up, they themselves will be bad, right? And there is systems in place that profits from being bad.
Yeah.
Right? So what I want to be able to do is promote this idea of forgiveness for one generation. Right? I just want to be, I don't know how we're going to when we get there, we'll figure it out. But I want to be able to promote this idea of forgiveness for one generation. Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit and he does drugs and this and that and that's when blah 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 and that's why he's poor, right? But I want to be able to say, yeah, but that guy has kids and those kids are growing up in his household and now these kids are not going to have a very shot at life. So why don't we forgive this guy for this generation so at least we can save his kids? Because if we can save the kids, then we'll have a good generation.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to promote this idea of forgiveness for one generation. Why people are poor? There's a billion reasons why they're poor. Because they didn't take life seriously, they didn't go to school, they're not disciplined, they sleep in too much, they eat too much, they sleep too much, they fart too much, whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just forgive them for one generation. And let's just try to make sure that their kids grow up in a good world.
Yeah.
Because then in one generation we'll have what? A good world.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I think the mission of AIPC will accomplish it, probably not in my lifetime. Right? We'll be able to accomplish the mission of AIPC in, let's say, 120 years.
Yeah, you're planting the seed.
Exactly. I want to be able to do enough in my lifetime that the next generation can take over and really fulfill. And I know we haven't really talked about what exactly is going to be fulfilled and things like that. And to be honest with you, maybe we can do that another time. I'm good with continuing the conversation, or I can do that as well. But I do have plans and things like that that I'm trying to execute to make sure I can make that happen. It's not just, you know, compassion and, you know, I love you, you love me. And, you know, it's not just, because it's not going to work that way, right? Yeah. You need to have systems and things in place to be able to undo what the systems in place that have done. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I do want to share this actually, so I guess I will go into it. There's 3 forms of power in the world, I believe, right? With God aside. One form of power is politicians. Another form of power is money, right? The third form of power is the power that's greater than both of those, and that's the power of unity, right? And that's why throughout history, divide and conquer has always been a thing, because these two get to stay in power if people are divided, right? Because they know if people come together, then we can control the money and we can control the government. So naturally, they don't want you to come together, right? Yeah. That's one principle. The second principle that AIPC is built on is that no one's afraid of water drops, but everyone's afraid of the ocean. And the ocean is nothing but water drops that united. And just like the waves of the ocean can change the landscapes of the country or the world, if we, the people, unite, then our waves can change the landscapes of society. Things like poverty is not a proof of lack of resources. It's a proof of lack of compassion. Yeah. Right? That's why I want to bring people together through compassion so we can solve all these kind of things. All these kids that are growing up in these households that are, you know, honestly, man, people don't even like to preach good things anymore these days, I've realized, because they're afraid they're going to be called a hypocrite. So now you have parents and older siblings who aren't even telling their younger kids or their younger siblings good things. Why? Because they're going to call them a hypocrite. So now we have a generation, a world, where we don't even advise others good things because we're so afraid of being called a hypocrite. Right? So I created a new word. AIPC created a new word. I haven't talked about these kind of things, but AIPC created a new word to undo the damage that the word hypocrite has done. Because the word hypocrite has done a lot of damage in society. If there's an enemy of the word of AIPC, for right now, one of those enemies, or the enemy, or maybe I don't even want to go that strong on it, but hypocrite is a word that AIPC absolutely hates in a sense. Right? Why? Because it has done so much damage to society. Why? It's not the word hypocrite, it's the misuse of the word hypocrite. Yeah. Right? Because when you look up the definition of the word hypocrite, there's no intention behind the word hypocrite. Intention is not an element of the word hypocrite when you look up the definition. So I could be telling you don't do drugs, and just because I did something, you're going to call me a hypocrite and not listen to me. But the fact that I'm saying it out of love is not a calculation in the word hypocrite, because the word hypocrite doesn't have an element of intention into it. So now, just because I did something that I shouldn't be doing, I can't even advise you not to do it. Why? Because one of the worst things that I can be called in the word is a hypocrite. Right? So I don't want to be called a hypocrite. So instead of me telling you not to do drugs, I might do one of two things. I might do it and not show it to you, or I might encourage you to do it with me. Right? Now, parents, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, you know, at least my kids are doing it with me, so I know who they're doing it with and they're doing it safe. Or they're saying, oh, at least I know the friends of my kids, so it's okay that they're doing it. They're afraid to tell their kids not to do it. Why? Because they themselves have done it. And the parent doesn't want to be called a hypocrite, because a hypocrite is the worst thing you can be called. So AIPC created a word, it's called benestrat. Right? And my goal is to be able to get that word in the dictionary one day. Right? So what a benestrat is somebody that, I got to put the exact definition together, but it's along the lines of, yeah, I'm telling you to do something that I myself don't follow, but I'm doing it with good intent. So now the parent can say, no, I'm not a hypocrite, I'm a benestrat, because this is not good for you, and I'm telling you that, and I made those mistakes. I don't want you to make the same mistakes as me. Don't call me a hypocrite. That, guess what? The word what I just said, that doesn't exist in the English dictionary. A word like that doesn't exist. Right? There's other words that I have, several other words that I've created. Another one is that you know, the word bias. The word bias has done a lot of damage to the world as well. Right? Because once you say someone is biased, you automatically discount what they're saying at least 10, 15, 20%, because they're biased. Right? So you could say something along, and Milo actually gave a really, and I don't know if it's okay that I said his name, but Milo actually gave a really good example of the word bias, of the word Sophion. Right? So a Sophion is someone who says, yeah, it's true that I do, like, my background does align with what I'm saying, but it's also based off statistics and research and X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying it just because I'm biased. I'm actually saying it because I've done the research behind it. So no, I'm not a biased. I'm actually a Sophian. Right? Because that word also doesn't exist. Like a word that depicts what I just said, where someone, like, let's say, for example, what's an example I can use? There was many good examples, but let's say, for example, I said, turmeric. Eating turmeric is good for you, right? You might say, well, you're biased because you're from India. I'm not from India, but you're from India, so obviously you think turmeric is good for you because you guys eat a lot of turmeric. But in reality, when you look at the research of it, turmeric actually is good for you. So no, I'm not biased. I'm a Sophian, because what I'm saying, although it aligns up with my background and the cliche of it, or whatever the word is, right? It's not just biasness. There's actually research behind it. So there's no word that is defined like that in the English language. So then we have to rely on the word bias. So then there's miscommunication. Yeah. Right? Because if you tell me that I'm biased and then I agree that I'm biased, but I'm not able to tell you that I'm a Sophian, then we just created miscommunication. And what does miscommunication do?
Separate us.
Creates chaos ultimately, right? Yeah. So that's a whole nother element of AIPC as well, right? And there's many other elements of AIPC, by the way. There's many other elements of AIPC. But the goal is to change the world, bro. The goal is to change the world for the better. Yeah. And as a human being, I feel like I have an obligation to change the world, to do something good for the world. I really feel like it. As a human being, I definitely have an obligation to my fellow humans and society. And this is what this is.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the right path. So if I keep pushing it, get more people involved, find the right people, your peoples. Right. So that's all it is.
Finding the people of AIPC, I guess that's my mission right now. So I guess I like that. Yeah. On the mission to find the right people for AIPC. Yeah. And I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to network as much as I can. I'm trying to network, and I still have a full-time job, right? I have a full-time job. I have a family. Yeah. And so whatever time I have in between is what I'm trying to utilize for this. Yeah. And obviously that's just not enough time, right? Yeah. So, but God willing, it'll happen.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to you can't do everything yourself. So,
right.
By yourself. Right. So that's why it's good to have people that has the same vision, this and that, and you don't have to tell them to do certain. I mean, in a way, yeah.
For sure.
People that's willing to just do it just because they believe in what you're preaching.
That's one of the reasons I appreciate Chase so much, man. That's one of the reasons I have so much love for him, is because, for one, from the best of my abilities and my talents and my knowledge and my analytical skills and blah, 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 I feel like he's a great human being, right? Yeah. And so he's doing a lot of good work in the world. And he actually, I don't know if it's okay that I say it here or whatever, but he's the vice president of AIPC as far as reigniting compassion back into the hearts of humanity through arts. Right? That's his section. Yeah. Right? I have a gentleman in Texas that I'm working with. God willing, my goal is to make him the vice president of reigniting compassion back into the hearts of humanity through youth mentorship. Okay. Right? So I have another gentleman that I'm very close with, and my goal is to make him the vice president of reigniting compassion back into the hearts of humanity through martial arts. Right? I have a lady that I'm somewhat close with, that my goal is to make her the vice president of reigniting compassion back into the hearts of humanity through dance and things like that. She teaches dance courses and classes and things like that for kids. Now here's the beautiful part about this, right? All these people that I mentioned, they all have businesses and things that they're trying to do. Yeah. They're all going to be partners of AIPC, God willing. Right? And so I'm going to bring customers to these businesses. Right? In return, AIPC is going to get a little piece of it. Tiny piece of it, a fraction of it. Now, what we're going to do with that money is we're going to fund the food drives. We're going to fund all the different nonprofits, the youth mentorship programs, the programs for rehab, the programs if you have drug issues, the programs if you're abused as a kid, if you were raped, if you were molested, if you were X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 all those different things. If the proper healthcare, we talked about, making sure everyone has access to education. We want to make sure everyone has access to healthcare. We want to make sure everyone has housing, right? These are all basic fundamental human rights. Yeah. I feel like if there's a government that feels like you have to listen to them, but they're not able to offer you your basic human rights, that's incompetency. If someone feels like they can rule over you, but they can't offer you your basic human rights, that's incompetency. And so, you know what? I decided I don't want to look towards someone else to solve these kind of things. Yeah. Why don't I try to do it myself? And that's AIPC. American International Peace Commission. Vision is to reignite compassion back into the hearts of humanity. Truly. All this money that we're gonna, because we have to fund it, right? And I don't want to rely on people to give money to fund it, because that's never worked throughout history, right? We've had nonprofit organizations throughout history. We've had people doing good work throughout history. Now I want to use capitalism to do this, to make it happen.
Yeah, in a way, you're building a marketing firm to give back.
In many sense. In many sense, I say many sense because there's going to be a lot more elements than just that. Because I did mention as far as creating vocabulary words and right. So there's going to be
way more than that.
Right.
For sure.
But the goal, because I have to create something that is that special.
Yeah.
That is going to do something that we haven't been able to do out through the history of humanity.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't even talked about the technology side of it.
Yeah.
And the things that I want to do with technology. Right. That's a whole nother element of it.
Yeah.
AIPC is a collaboration between man and machine.
Yeah.
Right. When I say man and machine, man and artificial intelligence. Right, because that is the future, whether we want to accept it or not. Elon Musk stated that he has a goal of everyone having robots in their house, right? So, and we already have, so much exposure to artificial intelligence. So it's not like that's going to stop. That's going to get more and more and more. Yeah. But I want to be able to utilize that as a tool for good, right? So AIPC is a collaboration between man and artificial intelligence to be able to solve the problems that man alone hasn't been able to solve. That's a whole nother element of it that I haven't even talked about. Yeah. That's a whole nother element of it.
That's part 2. Wait for it. Just wait on it. Yeah.
So, sometimes people will say, what is AIPC? And, I don't even know what it is. And, he's so random and he doesn't, X, Y, and Z. How am I supposed to say all this stuff randomly? Like, I have 5 minutes on the Poetic Thursday stage.
And that's the platform here.
You know what? Well, yeah, exactly. But I had to go there for me to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the reason I wanted to launch it from there, because that's the place where I wanted to, and the reason I really mean it from the bottom of my heart when I decided I launched it there, because that's a place that I feel like, see, one thing about and forget about AIPC for just a sec, or I guess this is related to, I guess everything about me is related to AIPC, but anyways.
It's not bad.
One thing I realized is that to appreciate art, you have to have compassion in your heart.
Yeah.
You can't appreciate art without having compassion.
Yeah.
And so when I went there, I realized this is perfect. This is a place of art. And Chase is the guy running it.
Yeah.
And he is an embodiment in many sense to what compassion and love